meter. So, temperature is measured in 3 units: Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin. So, what is temperature, children? It is a degree of hotness or coolness. What is the instrument to find out the temperature change? The device is called as thermometer. We have different types of thermometer, children, like clinical thermometer, laboratory thermometer, thermistors, digital thermometers and maximum and minimum thermometer. These are all the different kinds of thermometer we will be studying about. Every thermometer has a particular liquid in it. What is that liquid called as? It is a thermometric liquid. Every liquid which is used to find out the temperature change should have a particular properties. First we have to find out what are those liquids. We use mainly two types of liquids, one is mercury and the other one is alcohol. So, let us study about the properties of thermometric liquid commonly used in the thermometers. The thermometer liquid should have a main property, it should be visible. In the last class we have studied that solids expand on heating, liquids expand on heating, isn't it? So, here we are taking liquid. So, the liquid which is used in the thermometers should be visible. The freezing point of the liquid should be very low, and if there is a slight change in the temperature, then the liquid should absorb that energy and it should expand. Then only the visible liquid should expand and tell us how much is the difference in the temperature. So, children, now you understood why is mercury is used in thermometers. Let us see few more reasons. So, mercury is visible, children. You can see mercury liquid because it has a silvery color. It has a high boiling point and you can measure higher temperatures because it expands on heating. See, children, this is a mercury liquid. It is a liquid metal at room temperature. You can see it is flowing like a liquid. You can see small drops of mercury. Here you can observe that it is shining, the outer surface of mercury is shining, and after removing the total liquid from the glass bottle, no liquid has touched the walls. You observe the walls of this container, walls of the bottle. Is there anything left? The total liquid can be poured down on the other surface. Here also you can see it is not sticking to the surface. That means it has a shiny surface and it is not sticking to the walls of the container. So, if you pour it into the thermometer also, it will not stick to the walls of the thermometer. Children, liquid expands on heating. Mercury is also liquid. So, even it expands on heating and contracts on cooling. See this picture, children. If there is slight change in the temperatures, mercury expands on heating and it contracts with the change in the temperature. Children, why did the mercury level change when it is brought into contact with the other substance? But there are some disadvantages of using mercury also. What are the disadvantages? Let us see. It is highly toxic for the living beings, and so if the bulb breaks by mistake when the mercury thermometer is in your mouth, and if the mercury leaks out, it may be poisonous. It is also difficult to clean and it also contaminates the surface if it gets leaked out. Children, if you want to record cold temperatures, then it contracts but to a lower extent. So, you can't record cooler temperatures. So, these are the disadvantages of using mercury in the thermometer. So, as I told you, mercury is toxic. Then we have replaced mercury thermometers with sensors. The digital thermometers have sensors in it which can detect slight changes in the temperatures of the body. These are the digital thermometers. As mercury is toxic, if the thermometer breaks, it may be poisonous if it goes into our body. So, digital thermometers will not have any kind of mercury. They have small sensors here which can detect slight changes in the temperatures. Children, these are thermistors. They are used as digital thermometers for recording the temperatures of small babies, infants. They do not have any mercury, they are not liquid thermometers. Now, let us go to the structure of thermometer. Children, a thermometer is used to record the slight changes of temperature. So, the liquid which is used in the thermometer is mercury. So, let us see the parts of the thermometer. If you look at the figure, children, you can see a long tube here. So, it consists of mainly a long glass tube. This is called as a stem. Here there is a bulb. This bulb is filled with mercury. Now, this bulb is connected to a long pipe called as capillary tube. You can see recordings here. Can you read the recordings here? This is 0, 10, 20, 30 till 100. And this is minus 10, minus 20, minus 30. Children, this is a type of thermometer which can find the temperature of even ice. So, now see the readings, children. 0 degrees centigrade. How this 0 degrees centigrade was recorded? By dipping this thermometer in the ice water. So, if the mercury level is still here, that means the temperature of that particular substance is 0 degrees. Now, if you put it in hot water, the mercury level rises and it comes still here, because the boiling point of water is 100 degrees centigrade. The mercury will rise till here only, it cannot go beyond it. So, this is a thermometer which can be used to find the boiling point of water also. So, see here, children. The scales in which the temperature is measured are marked on the stem. You can see the markings on the thermometer. Minus 10, minus 20, minus 30 can also be recorded on the thermometer with the help of the ice. Now, at the end of the stem there is a small bulb. You can see this is a small bulb which is having mercury in it. You can see this bulb is entering into the capillary tube. So, what is this? A capillary tube. It is present inside the stem of the thermometer. See this video, children. You can observe the rise of the mercury level in the capillary tube. When the person holds the bulb of the thermometer in his hand, you can see the mercury level is rising. So, when the person has kept the thermometer in his hand, what happened to the mercury level? As the heat started transferring from the hand to the mercury started absorbing the heat, it started expanding and raising in the capillary tube. So, this property of expansion, even with the slight change in the temperature, is used in the thermometers. So, mercury expands on heating. This is a very important property of liquids which has been used in making thermometers. Now, let us see the different types of thermometers. So, as we were discussing, if you fall sick, where will you go? You will go to a doctor. What will be the nurse doing? She will be checking your body temperature by using a specific thermometer called as clinical thermometer. Now, let us study about clinical thermometer. Have you ever seen it, children? See this. This is a clinical thermometer. In our last class, we have studied that our normal body temperature is 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit. In degree centigrade, if you see, our normal body temperature will be 37 degrees centigrade. So, even this clinical thermometer will have a stem with a bulb and a capillary tube. The level of the mercury on expansion from the bulb raises into the capillary tube, and on both sides of the capillary tube you can see the recordings. So, as I told you, the normal body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade, and you can see the readings have started from 35 degrees centigrade. So, from 35 it has been calibrated up to 42 degrees centigrade. So, the lowest marking on the clinical thermometer is 35 degrees centigrade and the highest marking on the clinical thermometer is 42 degrees centigrade. So, the temperature range marked is 35 to 42 degrees centigrade and our normal body temperature is 98.4 degrees centigrade. And if you take Fahrenheit scale, the lowest temperature recorded can be 94 degrees Fahrenheit and the highest temperature can be recorded is 108 degrees Fahrenheit. So, the very important property of clinical thermometer is it has got a constriction, a kink in the capillary tube. So, we have seen the stem of the clinical thermometer has a bulb. This bulb enters into the capillary tube. Now, this capillary tube has a constriction, a bent. Bent is also called as kink, K-I-N-K. What is the use of this kink? So, when temperature increases, the mercury expands and then it enters into the capillary tube. It raises and tells you the reading. Then the doctor records the temperature. Then even if you take out from your mouth, the mercury level should not fall down. Isn't it, children? The doctor keeps the thermometer in your mouth if you are a small baby. Then you remember your sisters or brothers, if they are taken to the hospital, where is the thermometer kept? It is kept under their arms or below their knees. So, if there is a slight change in the temperature, mercury expands, it raises in the capillary tube. And then they remove it from our mouth and the doctor observes the temperature change, the rise in the mercury level in the capillary tube. Children, if they remove it from the mouth, what happens? The body temperature is more and the temperature outside is less. So, there is a chance of mercury level falling down because of the slight change in the temperature. So, even after removing from your mouth, the mercury level should not fall down. So, what did they do? They have kept a kink in the capillary tube. This kink will not allow the mercury level to fall down. So, this is a very important question you have to remember. Why is a kink present in the clinical thermometer? The very important use of kink is it will not allow the mercury level to fall down even after it is removed from the mouth of the patient. So, the kink in the tube stops the mercury level from falling down on its own. So, children, once the mercury level falls down, again it is sterilized and again kept in other patient's mouth. Did you observe what will the nurse doing? Before she keeps the thermometer in the mouth, she will give a jerk to the thermometer. What she will do? She will sterilize it, she will give a jerk and then only she will put it in the other patient's mouth. Why? This jerk will help the mercury to fall down. So, kink is stopping the mercury to fall down. Kink will not allow the mercury to flow down. Then what is the jerk helping us? The jerk will help the mercury to fall down, come back to the normal state. Then when it is kept in the other patient's mouth, then if there is any increase in temperature, then mercury level will rise. Children, there are some precautions to be taken before using the clinical thermometer. So, clinical thermometers should be cleaned before and after the use of the clinical thermometer. Children, when you are reading the readings, you have to keep it exactly in front of your eyes. See the girl, how is she reading the mercury thermometer? See, she has kept it along the level of the eyes, so that the line of the sight gives you the accurate reading of the clinical thermometer. So, the line of the sight will give you the accurate reading of the rise in the mercury level of the clinical thermometer. And the very important thing you have to do is check whether the mercury is at the starting point. What is the starting point or the lower recording? The lower reading is 35 degrees centigrade. So, before putting it into the mouth of the patient, the mercury level should be at normal, that is 35 degrees centigrade at the lower reading of the thermometer. So, handle the thermometer with care, and when you are giving a jerk to it, when the sister is giving a jerk, it should not touch to any hard object, or else what happens? The bulb of the mercury thermometer can break and the mercury can flow off. You should not hold the thermometer with the bulb. Mercury thermometer has a bulb which stores the mercury. You should not hold the bulb of the mercury thermometer. Why? Because if you hold the bulb, then because of the heat energy present in your body, then the mercury level may also increase. Now, how to read a thermometer? Children, it is given a few jerks before using it, so that the mercury level comes down. What is a normal temperature? 37 degrees centigrade. So, you have to see that the mercury level is at the lower marking before using it. The thermometer's reading, you have to keep it under the tongue or under the arms. You should see the initial reading and the final reading, and then the final reading should be recorded as the temperature change in the patient's body. Caution! Children, do not use a clinical thermometer for measuring the temperature of any other object like any other liquid, because clinical thermometer has lower marking and upper marking. The lower marking is just 35 degrees centigrade and the higher marking is only 42 degrees centigrade. So, if you use it, the mercury may rise and may come out from the thermometer. So, clinical thermometer is made to record the temperature of only human bodies. You should not use clinical thermometer to measure the temperatures of any other liquid. Okay, children? And one more caution is, you should not bring it near the flame. Then what happens? Flame means more amount of heat energy, and mercury, if it is heated, then it expands and it can come out from the thermometer, and the thermometer may break. Now, let us come to another type of thermometer, that is laboratory thermometer. The name itself is telling us that it is used in the laboratories. Why? To record the temperatures of solvents or liquids. Children, these thermometers are used for scientific research. They can be used for finding the melting points or the boiling points of particular solvents which are used in the laboratory. Let us see the parts of these laboratory thermometer. And it has a long stem with a bulb which holds the mercury. This is a long stem. It has a bulb for the corner which holds the mercury. The mercury enters into the capillary tube. On both sides of the capillary tube, you can see the recordings. The recordings are from -10 degrees, 0, and then the highest marking is 110 degrees centigrade. So, the lowest marking in the laboratory thermometer is -10 degrees and the highest marking is 110 degrees centigrade. Children, the range is from -10 to 110 degrees centigrade. So, you are using this laboratory thermometer in the laboratories only to measure the temperatures of solvent. It is designed for lab purposes, for finding the boiling points, freezing points of other substances. You just have to dip the bulb of the mercury thermometer in the liquid. So, see here children, this is a beaker with the solvent. They have just dipped the stem of the laboratory thermometer in this liquid, and then if the temperature is more, then the mercury expands and rises in the capillary tube and comes to a particular reading. That reading is nothing but the temperature of that particular liquid. Children, see this picture children. Here we are using thermometers to measure the freezing point of ice and the boiling point of water. How will you do it? Take a laboratory thermometer, place it in the beaker of ice. You can see the mercury contracts and falls down, and here this is the recording. This level of the mercury tells us the temperature of the ice. This can be 0 degree centigrade only because it is the melting point of ice. Now, take the same thermometer and keep it in the water. See the bulb of the laboratory thermometer, it is in the water which is boiling. You can see the level of mercury has increased. It was showing 0 degree centigrade. Now, if you keep it in hot water, see the level of the mercury has increased, it has raised up to the maximum. This is 100 degree centigrade. That means, this recording shows the boiling point or the maximum temperature of the thermometer. So, what is the boiling point of water, children? 100 degrees centigrade. So, children, see this picture. We have taken ice cubes in the glass. Even you can record the temperature of ice in your house in this way. You just have to dip the laboratory thermometers into the ice, and that will show you the temperature of ice. See here, children, it is showing this is the mercury level. Where did it stop? The total mercury has contracted and it has stopped at 0 degree centigrade. This level tells us the minimum temperature recorded by the thermometer, that is 0 degree centigrade. So, this is the lowest reading. So, let us see the applications, children. Aircrafts use thermometers and hygrometers to determine the atmospheric icing conditions exist along their flight path. So, when the airplane is moving in the sky, to find out the different temperatures, they install a thermometer in the aircrafts. They are also applied in the meteorological and the oceanographic applications. These measurements are used to initialize the weather forecast models. They are used in the households, hospitals for finding the body temperature. They are also used in the indoor climate control systems. Then, can you use laboratory thermometer for finding the body temperatures? You can't use. Why can't you use? Because of the readings. Children, laboratory thermometer was calibrated in such a way that it shows maximum temperature changes. That is, the lowest recording, as you have seen, the lowest mark on the laboratory thermometer was minus 10 degrees centigrade, and then equal divisions were made from minus 10 to 0, then 10, 20, 30, 40 like that till 100. So, slight change in the temperatures cannot be recorded by laboratory thermometer. So, the normal body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade only. So, if you take that laboratory thermometer and put in the mouth of the patient, can you record the exact reading? No, because what is the difference between the units of laboratory thermometer? 10 degrees centigrade. So, can you record small slight changes like 37, 38, 39, 40? No, you can't. So, laboratory thermometer cannot be used for finding the temperature of a human body. Children, let us compare the clinical thermometer and the laboratory thermometer. Let us find out what are the similarities. Children, both are made up of glass, isn't it? And both are having long narrow glass tube. Both have a bulb which holds mercury. Readings on both the thermometers are in Celsius scales. In clinical thermometer, the lowest recording was 35 degrees centigrade and the highest recording was 42 degrees centigrade. Centigrade scale was marked on clinical thermometer, and if you take laboratory thermometer, children, the lowest recording is minus 10 degrees centigrade and the highest recording is 110 degrees centigrade. So, in both the thermometers, the recordings are given in centigrade scale. But what is the additional thing we have in clinical thermometer? The recordings are present in Fahrenheit scale also. Mostly in the laboratory thermometers, we do not use Fahrenheit scale. We use Celsius scale or centigrade scale. Now, see the differences between the clinical thermometer and the laboratory thermometer. Why are we using clinical thermometer, children? We are using it to measure the body temperature. Why are we using laboratory thermometer, children? we are using it to find the temperature of substances like solvents, water in the laboratory. What is the temperature range which you can record by using clinical thermometer? It is from 35 degrees centigrade to 42 degrees centigrade, because the normal body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. Now, what is the normal temperature recorded? What is the temperature range recorded by the laboratory thermometer? It can record temperatures between minus 10 degrees centigrade to plus 100 degrees centigrade. Even few thermometers have even plus 110 degrees centigrade also. Children, what is the main speciality of clinical thermometer? It has got a constriction called as kink. You remember what is the use of this kink? It prevents the backflow of the mercury. As soon as it is removed from the patient's mouth, the mercury should not fall down. Now, is the kink present in the laboratory thermometer? No, the kink is not present. Why is it not present? Think about it, children. So, let us recall what we have learnt in this lesson. What is temperature? It is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. Temperature of a human body can be used. Temperature of a human body can be measured by using clinical thermometer. Temperature of any liquid can be measured by using an ordinary thermometer called as laboratory thermometer. Thermometers contain mercury or alcohol. They can be used to find the melting point or boiling point of any liquids. Children, the normal body temperature of a human body is 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit, and in centigrade scale it is 37 degrees centigrade. Remember this point also. Now, to understand whether you have really comprehended the topic well, please answer these questions. Improve your learning. Write about the clinical thermometer. Write about the laboratory thermometer. Why is mercury used in the thermometers? Why do we give a jerk to the clinical thermometer before we use it to measure the body temperature? Why is clinical thermometer not used to measure the temperature of air? What is the use of kink in the clinical thermometer? I hope you have understood the lesson and you can easily answer these questions. And for better understanding and for a good practice, download the worksheets from SCERT websites, which will really help you in learning. Okay, children, see you in the next session of the digital classes. Thank you.